It's a perfect night here at West Muskingum High School. You know, cold temperatures all week, getting cooler tonight, but two teams clashing here that had a close matchup a season ago between the Coshocton Redskins and the West Muskingum Tornadoes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the broadcast booth. I'd say the booth, but we're on the roof tonight. Right here, Ted Snyder, Dylan Kearns. Ted, I mentioned, last year, both teams, West Muskingum off to a great start last year, a great record throughout the course of the season. They ran into a little bit of a lull last year. Coshocton with 2 wins, they came off a win against Crooksville, and it's the same scenario tonight where they came off a win against Crooksville. How do the Tornadoes avoid another close battle with the Coshocton Redskins?
Well, this year's Tornadoes team is a lot different than last year's, as this year's team is actually kind of built around their defense. They're number 1 in the MVL in total defense, number 1 in rush defense, number 2 in pass defense. So if you want to beat the Tornadoes, you're going to have to score points, and that's easier said than done. And offensively, they never missed a beat. They lost Rashid Cisse, but Carter Winland, Carter Smith, and the rest of the cast of the characters, they've really stepped up in his absence.
Winland leads the entire MVL in rushing. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year, 950 yards, should eclipse the 1,000-yard mark here tonight. But, I hinted on it just a second ago, a close battle last year when these two teams met up, and we caught up with Jake Anton and head coach Nate Brownrigg to discuss how they avoid that again tonight.
We've been executing well. We've been playing. We got 3 straight shutouts going on defense, and we just got to keep up the intensity and keep doing what we're doing. I think up front we've been playing really well the last couple weeks. Obviously that's a huge part of being able to win games and be successful, but I think things we can clean up. We just need to really. We've got stuck in the second quarter a couple times, just kind of hitting like a roadblock on offense, and I think we should be able to overcome that and keep everything rolling. Big do your job week. They're wing T. Last year they almost got us. We just got to stick to what we do, and everybody's got to do their job.
I think that we need to continue to focus on preparing the right way and have good weeks of practice. We've done that the last couple weeks and gone out on Friday nights and executed. And so I think we got to continue to do that, play physical assignment football on both sides and execute in key situations. Really, it's similar story to last year. I think they've struggled for whatever reason, up to last week in the season. So I think record-wise, it's really deceiving. Them coming in at 1-7, they're not a 1-7 team. Just like last year, they were not a 1-7 team. And I think we overlooked them a little bit last year, kind of took for granted that things were going to play out. And they almost didn't. And it's a credit to them, to their kids, to their coaching staff. They do what they do. They're a wing T, offense that is just good at those concepts that they run. And they're fast, they're physical, and so we got to come in again with the same mindset we have for the last 3 weeks and finish out the season, the next 2 weeks by continuing to improve and make ourselves the best group we can.
So the Tornadoes just now taking the field. You just heard from Coach Brownrigg. He became the program's all-time winningest coach last week.
That's incredible in just the short amount of time he's been here. It shows you just exactly how successful he's been from day one on putting W's up on the win column. Tonight, the Redskins come to town. They just got their first win a week ago against Crooksville, 45-29, a high-scoring affair. You mentioned last year's game between these two schools, 57-56. I'm not expecting that much offensive firepower here in this one. We talk about West Muskingum's defense. After the Week 5 cancellation, they followed that up with Week 6, 7, and 8 shutouts.
Yeah.
No one scored a point on the West Muskingum Tornadoes since all the way back on September the 13th when we saw New Lexington come in here.
That is a great credit to the defensive scheme there and the plays they've been making on defense. We talk about the offense ad nauseum about how well the players are stepping up with Carter Winland and just underclassmen performance from Carter Smith and a couple other key pieces on offense, but the defense has been stride for stride, if not better than the offense all year.
Yeah, and this Coshocton team, their team is designed around running the football, and if you can't establish a run when that's what you want to do, it's going to be a long night for you. And the Tornadoes are number 1 in the league at stopping the run. They have a couple of excellent linebackers in Carter Winland and Wes Houston. Individually very good, but together maybe the best duo in the league.
So it's strength on strength here tonight. Silas Kuhn getting ready to put toe to rubber, and he kicks it deep towards the 10-yard line where it'll be fielded. And a bunch of Tornadoes there collapsing on the tackle, driven out of bounds around the 24-yard line.
Tornadoes come into this game ranked 11th in their region, Division 5, Region 19. They do control their own destiny. So West Muskingum takes care of the final 2 weeks. They will be in. Seeding yet to be determined. Coshocton not so fortunate. Although not mathematically eliminated, the writing's on the wall for the Redskins. They're 24th in Division 5, Region 17. A lot of space to make up there.
So the Coshocton Redskins offense will take over first in this game, led by their quarterback, an amazing basketball player, Colton Conkle.
Busted a couple long runs against the Ceramics a week ago. He is a threat to run from the quarterback position.
They also have 2 running backs that are stride for stride on carries so far this year. One of them gets the tote here, and that is Logan Wintz, as he gets just about back to the yard marker, maybe 1 on the carry.
See a trio of Tornadoes teaming up on that tackle. Carter Smith finished the job. 2nd and 9 for the Redskins.
Talk about the 2 running backs there. We saw Wentz with the first carry. That's his 93rd on the year. The other running back is Champ Haley. He's got 94 carries, so very split in terms of what this offense can bring from the running back position.
And I imagine Conkle's probably got similar rushing attempts in that neighborhood.
So now it is 2nd down and 9 to go.
You can see how aggressive the Tornadoes defense is.
Conkle rolls out right. He's going to go back left and keep his eyes downfield and hit a wide open. That is a running back, Wentz. He's into space. He's down the sideline, past the 20. A diving tackle, and he gets the shoestrings inside the 10, but a huge play from the Redskins.
That was. Had the defense leaning one way, come back the other way. The only man over there to make the play was Carter Smith, and he had to commit to the quarterback run. You'll see it right here. Smith right there, number 1, was coming up to make a play on the quarterback, and no one there to cover number 8.
So they're saying that Wentz stepped out of bounds about the 42-yard line, so that's where they will down it.
Yeah.
So,
but you could see how far up the safeties for West was on that 2nd and 9 play, as they were really expecting run there, and Coshocton hit him with a little screen pass. Was very successful. And we've seen West Muskingum several times this year, and their safeties typically play pretty deep.
So we talk about the shutouts and how well the defense has played, and a play that we thought was inside the 10 to start the game on the second one of the ball game here on their first drive. Now they're back at the 42, and Conkle under center as a whistle blows, and looks like a player is coming off.
I think it's equipment related. A sub coming in. It needs to have those knees covered.
So Conkle will give to the other running back. He is tackled short.
And that's right there in between the tackles is going to be the most difficult place to gain yards against the Tornadoes. We mentioned number 1 in the MVL in rush defense, 617 yards allowed in 7 games. Just 3.3 yards per carry they average giving up to their opponents. So very, very tough to run against this Tornado front.
Well, we have seen the 2 rushing attempts so far stuffed at the line. The big gain was on the screen pass as they motion a player to the right, and Conkle eyes downfield. He's going to fire a deep strike to a wide open receiver, but it is just a little bit underthrown. Right there to pick it off is the quarterback, Jake Anton.
Jake Anton showed his great athletic ability to get in front of that one and snag that INT for the Tornadoes and puts it into the first Redskins drive.
See on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay, Conkle had a wide open receiver deep, and it was Wentz who made the big catch earlier, but that ball was just not enough air under it.
We'll get a look at the Tornadoes offensively. You mentioned Carter Winland, 950 rushing yards and 12 rushing TDs in just 7 games. He's the league leader while playing 1 fewer game than the field. Says a lot about him.
So a receiver in motion. It'll be Anton on the quarterback keeper. Picks up a few yards on the first offensive play of the day for the Tornadoes.
You can't sleep on the Tornado passing attack either. Anton's shown he's a capable passer and has several weapons to choose from. 1,100 plus passing yards and 13 passing TDs on the season.
So just under 10 minutes to play. Braxton Brownrigg in motion. He gets the carry, and he goes up the middle as he's tackled around the 15.
He's got really quick feet amongst the red jerseys in there. He found a way to make 4 or 5 yards out of that. Just a sophomore, and we saw him come onto the scene in a big way when the game we were here and Connor Hill was injured. Brownrigg came in and made a huge impact in that game.
So 3rd down and 4 for the Tornadoes. Haven't said Winland's name yet in this one, and it's a play action to him as Anton rolls left, pressure in his face, thrown deep, and that ball's intercepted.
And get the official, see if he's in bounds or not. They're going to say he did come down in bounds.
That ball was coming straight towards us, and it looked like that was
very close. Very close to him coming down out of bounds. See if we can get a look at it here on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. Anton probably should have just ate that one. Tried to force it downfield. He landed right on the boundary. The official right on that one. So a pair of interceptions here early, Dylan.
Anton has an interception, and he's thrown an interception. And oddly enough, the ball in the same spot on the drive that Coshocton had the ball where they threw the interception on the last one. This goes to Wentz, who just had the interception. He gets just 2 yards on that 1st down carry. So last year, tons of offense in that game, 57-56. This year has been the defense stepping up so far here 4 minutes into this game.
Yeah, West Muskingum's defense a year ago had the ability to play well, but they weren't consistent. And this year, game in and game out, with the exception of the 38 points allowed to New Lexington, they have been top-notch.
And if you're going to give up a lot of points, New Lexington's the team to do it. I mean, they lead the league in a lot of offensive, especially passing categories, as there's Wentz again. He's tackled around the 35-yard line, 36 rather.
Going to bring up a big 3rd down here, and the Redskins have shown a couple of screen looks early in the 1st quarter. They try to get the defense leaning one direction and throw it back to a single receiver on the opposite side. West Muskingum is going to have to be disciplined.
3rd down and 4. A receiver off to the right, that is Jackson Smith. And Conkle rolling right, 2 defenders in his face, keeps his feet, and just fires this one, and the pass is incomplete. That one was going in the direction of the aforementioned Smith.
A big decision here for Coshocton, 4th and 5. They are inside Tornado territory at the 36, so I would expect them to go for this, Dylan. A 1-7 team, and
yeah,
they have weeks 9 and 10 left to get something going, and nothing to lose.
And it's not like they've looked bad so far on offense. They've gotten some positive gains, and
if you look at the results, they weren't blown out by many teams, and the level of their competition has been high.
So the first shotgun formation, and this is Conkle. Keeps his eyes downfield. He looks like he could have had the 1st down. That ball is thrown and broken up right there to make the play. Anton with a flag down.
Excellent defensive play by Jake Anton to bat that ball away. See what the call is here. Holding on the Redskins. That's going to be a decline, and Tornadoes will take possession of the football.
You know, I thought Conkle had a crease to run if he wanted to get the 1st down yardage. But nevertheless, the holding call would have negated that regardless. So the 36-yard line is where the Tornadoes' 2nd drive will begin. The interception by Anton on the last possession, just his 3rd on the year. And they come out in the I formation. I think we can expect to say Winland's name here.
I agree.
Wes Houston, the big back in the backfield. There goes Winland to the left. He's got a crease. He gets to on the 46-yard line. So gain of 10 on the play. He's up to 960 on the year as the countdown to 1,000 continues.
And he will likely reach that tonight and average of 7.7 yards per carry coming in, which is just phenomenal. Got 10 on that one. And got an injured Redskin down on the field here, Dylan. Looks like 54.
Yeah, that would be Hayden Young, who is number 2 in the entire MVL in punting. So his average is 36 yards per punt. Definitely something to keep in mind in this one should he exit this contest.
It looks like they're working on his right knee. It's like in a considerable amount of discomfort. You never like to see this. It's the one thing we always hope, that both teams come out healthy at the end of the game.
So 6:58 to play in the first quarter. Seen a lot of good defensive stops and even a few good offensive plays. Just haven't resulted any points so far through this one. We want to remind you that tonight's broadcast brought to you by the Community Bank. Now's the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank.
Well, it's hard to believe we're in week 9 already here, Dylan, but
I know.
2 weeks from tonight, we'll be doing a playoff game somewhere against teams we don't know yet, but could possibly be right here at Whirlwind. A lot to be decided. We mentioned they're 11th right now currently in their region, but there's several teams ahead of them that play their rivals on week 10 who are all in the region 19. I know Union Local and Barnesville play each other week 10, and they're both above West Muskingum. Portsmouth and Ironton play each other. They're both ahead of West Muskingum in that region. So also Nelsonville York plays their league foe Athens week 10, who is still unbeaten. So some teams above the Tornadoes are going to lose in the final 2 weeks, so it just depends how this all shakes out.
So Anton in the pistol. They'll motion West Houston to the left. And this will be Winland. Winland with a big crease. He gets to the 40 before he lowers his shoulder and gets to the 39.
Yeah, he ran 12 yards before he was contacted. Just outstanding blocking by the West Muskingum front 5, per usual, as they've done the job all season long. And I'll tell you what, Dylan, Carter Winland may not be flashy, but he's making a strong case for himself to be consideration for MVL Player of the Year, in my opinion, for what he does on both sides of the football.
Yeah, we've seen him make plays on defense as well. So now the Tornadoes in enemy territory for the first time tonight. They will motion, that is Carter Smith, and Smith with a crease. He gets another first down for the Tornadoes on the jet sweep.
Super athletic sophomore Carter Smith takes that one for 14 and another Tornado first down. They're moving down the field with ease on their second drive here, Dylan.
So the ball now placed on the 25-yard line. Three straight first down plays for the Tornadoes. This is Winland. Winland up the middle, and he gets, I think, another. So 4 consecutive first downs.
You'll see the replay of it here. Just look at the hole just created by that offensive line up front for the Tornadoes. Carter Winland, big gap to run through. And once he gets into the second level, it's usually bad for the defense.
So 2 wide receivers now for the Tornadoes. That's Tavin Bennett to the left. They will go to Wes Houston here, the fullback, getting involved as he gets a few yards there on first down.
Involving him offensively more and more as the season moves along.
He's one of your favorite players.
This kid, kid at 6'2", 240, and has that kind of athleticism.
So the ball on the 13-yard line. And they will go to Winland. Winland bounces, tries to get outside, but right there, a great tackle. I believe it was Kent Barger on the stop, a freshman.
Yeah, great shoestring tackle. Winland might have taken that one in had he not made that shoestring tackle.
So now 3rd down and 8, just outside of goal to go. on the 13. Connor Hill and Tavin Bennett, the receivers. I formation for Anton. It's a play action pass. Looks right. Pass goes to Wes Houston. He is tackled short of the first down marker. So it'll bring up a close 4th down and short. You got to think the Tornadoes are going for it here.
It's interesting here because they're obviously close enough. Silas Kuhn can kick this in for 3. But I'm sure Coach Brownrigg has 6 in mind to open up the scoring here. Looks to be about 1.5, maybe 2 yards for a first down. We don't have the best angle.
His 4th and 2 to go. Eye for rather a wing T look. And this is pitched back to Winland. Winland scoots his way in for the touchdown. That is number 13 on the year.
13th rushing touchdown for number 10 here on senior night. As he and the rest of his classmates honored before the game. And they also announced that this year's senior class is the winningest class in West Muskingum
You're watching the
history.
Tornadoes on South 60
So
Films.
Outstanding, remarkable achievements by this class, which includes Winland and Anton and Wes Houston. Some great players in this class.
Connor Hill as well. And there's a little bit of motion up front. Not sure who this will go on.
That's going to be a half of the distance penalty here, Dylan, and Coach Brownrigg, I think, has changed his mind. He wants to go for 2. Ball moved from the 3 to the 1.5 on this PAT.
So now we will see the offense out here. You got to think, though, that yardage is definitely something that could impact your decision here. They just got a couple yards on a short yardage situation. It's a similar look here. They go right back to Winland, and it's the same result. This time for 2 points. The Tornadoes up 8-0 on the 2-point conversion.
Great drive, great execution all the way down the field from the Tornadoes. Mostly did it on the ground.
This is Western
West Houston
football.
on a little screenplay, but other than that, it was ground dominated, that drive was, by the Tornadoes.
So just over 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, it's senior night here at West Muskingum. Talk about the winning of the class.
I agree.
You know, it's a special moment here.
Yeah. You know, West Muskingum, they struggled for a lot of years in football to even be competitive. So nice to see them have so much success here in years past.
This one kicked deep. It'll be fielded there by Cohen Phillips. Phillips with a burst, and he shrugs off a tackle before being brought down near the 33-yard line. A good return there from the Redskins.
The open field tackle made by the Tornado, Dente Tyson. See what the Redskins have to offer on their third drive here.
Tyson, the freshman, getting some special teams work. That's where you make your impact, you know. Make a couple plays there, then you start getting...
Catch the coach's eye.
Yep. So the Redskins back on offense. And this is a give right back to the tailback Phillips. So 2nd down and 5 after the gain of 5. Sort of looks like a Navy offense out there. A lot of people in the backfield, a lot of motion. This one goes to Wentz. And
That's going to be good for a first down.
Yeah, they pick up a first down there. This one on the ground, their first one they picked up on the ground today.
You're right. You look at their formation. You got 10 guys bunched together and one guy split out wide. You know, it does look a lot like an Armed Forces setup, offensive setup.
Both Army and Navy undefeated to start the year, so, you know.
And both been pretty dominant.
Yeah.
I'm
a Notre Dame fan. I'm scared. We got both of them on the schedule, so when you lost to NIU, anything can happen.
That's got to be a motion.
Yeah, there is. Busted play there.
Two guys in motion running at each other.
They collided with each other. The running back and receiver, or running back and quarterback collided.
It took the official an extra couple seconds to get the flag out of his pocket. It was pretty clear. That's going to move them back 5 yards. 5-yard penalties are going to be drive killers against the defense so stingy against the run as the Tornadoes are.
There you see the quarterback and running back colliding there on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay.
Yeah, I think half the players were running one play and the other half were running a different play. That's what it looked like.
So the penalties declined, as it will now be second down. You know, you get the loss that you would have had anyway, so kind of a win-win situation for Brownrigg and the Tornadoes. You know, Coshocton's not really an offense that can play behind the sticks.
No.
You know, they gotta get their short yardage, chip away, and get close to that first down marker and convert on third down. This poses a challenge on 2nd and 13. It's going to be Conkle keeping it. He faces pressure, drops back, and just slings this one deep to Anton. And he's not going to be able to. He makes the catch, but his feet didn't stay in.
He gave every effort. No, you're right. Made the catch, but couldn't keep his feet grounded in the field of play. It's going to go down as an incompletion.
Not sure what Conkle was thinking there. There was no one in the vicinity. He just threw it to Anton.
Dangerous throw.
Anton almost with pick number 2 on the game. 3rd down and 13. 2:34 to play, quarter number 1. Temperatures getting colder and colder as the night continues. Pressure in the face of Conkle. Feeling it some more as he just slings that one deep and out of bounds. So that will bring up a 4th down.
It looked like the right side of the line for Coshocton may have moved a tad early there. They got away with it. No worse to wear for the Tornadoes. They were able to stop that 4th down passing attempt. 3rd down passing attempt, rather. And now Carter Smith and Connor Hill will go back to receive the punt.
Coshocton calling timeout, and we hit on it earlier. We saw the second best punter in terms of yardage, Hayden Young, go down earlier in this one. Not sure what his status is over on the Redskins sideline, but it could factor into this 4th and 13 situation.
Yep. I agree.
No one else can punt the ball. You might as well try to go for it.
Yeah, the kicking game is really unpredictable at the high school level, and if you have someone who can really punt and kick field goals and extra points accurately, it's such an advantage for you as a head coach.
So all week I was prepping to talk about the great punter that we were going to see here tonight in Young.
He's not back there.
Yeah, this is going to be Cohen Phillips we saw on the big punt return. But also of note, we do see right up in the middle, quarterback Colton Conkle if they try something funky. This one goes to Phillips, and a beautiful punt. As it takes a nice spin, but it's fielded there by Hill. Hill running to the left, tries to shrug off a defender, but a great tackle and shoved out of bounds on the play.
JT Newell on the play for Coshocton, able to string Connor Hill out along the sidelines. Tornadoes will set up shop at their own 34-yard line.
Tell you what, I'm not sure if Phillips has previous punting experience, but that
wasn't bad.
It traveled very far. It took a spin for Coshocton, but
especially on a cold night. I mean, the football gets cold, it gets hard, and it's not easy to punt.
So now he will line up in the nickel position. as the Tornadoes come out with 4 wide. And this is going to be Anton on the keeper. And the option play gets near the midfield stripe. Big gain on first down.
Excellent gain, 14 yards on first down for Anton. Shows you his speed and athleticism in the open field. Says, don't forget about me. Fake to Winland. He just keeps it around right edge. Had a line of blockers there, as you can see on the Higher Educational Credit Union replay. I'm just so impressed with Anton's growth and maturity over the past few years. You could see it from his sophomore to junior year and from his junior year to his senior year this year. You could just see the leaps forward he's taken.
Winland in the backfield. This pass goes to Brownrigg. He's hit hard and pushed back. Great tackle there, and he's thrown to the ground. Good tackle by Colton Conkle.
The West Muskingum fans want a personal foul on that, but Brownrigg was still fighting for yardage, so you're fair game at that point.
So that will go as a loss of 2 on the play. Second down and 10. The ball stayed up in the air for a little while. I thought the defender there was going to pick it and run it the distance. Would have been a brand new ball game should that have gone for a touchdown. Pistol look. This is a give to Winland, and Winland gets right back to the original line. If not one more, it'll be third down and 9.
One thing about Anton is his arm strength has gotten better and better each year, and he really puts some zip on the ball. Once he makes a decision, he lets it go. There's no indecisiveness, so pretty hard to pick him off. He has thrown 3 on the year,
including 1 tonight. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Anton. Winland in the backfield. He rolls right. Eyes downfield, wide open receiver. Actually, 2 were open. He goes to Brownrigg. You saw Hill clapping his hands over there. Regardless, it's a first down.
Yep. See Anton roll out to his right. Eyes downfield. As soon as he sees 15 in a little spot, a little soft spot, he hits him right in the chest. They make it look so easy, Dylan.
You know, Brownrigg's really stepped into his role this year. He was a quarterback with Anton last year a little bit, and this year really converted full-time to receiver. You saw him really just be a threat in the slot so far all year. Motion plays and just easy completions.
He had great speed, and you can see his football instincts on the field, and then no doubt that's from growing up in a household with a football coach.
The all-time winningest coach here at West Muskingum. That'll do it for quarter number 1. 8-0 West Em lead. They're driving as they will continue on this drive to start the second quarter. But that'll do it for quarter number 1. West Em over Coshocton, 8-0 here from West Muskingum. We'll step aside and be back with quarter number 2.
You're watching the Tornadoes on South 60 Films.
And then we're back, quarter number 2. A little short break. Wonder how many people mute us.
I know my mom doesn't.
Anton looking deep, wide open receiver. That is Smith, and there he goes for the touchdown. Carter Smith, number 5 on the year. A beautiful ball from Anton.
Beautiful pass and catch. Anton to Carter Smith. 39-yard connection. You see Carter Smith get way behind the deepest defender, and Anton's not going to miss this pass. Hits him in stride.
Just a beautiful strike you saw on the Ohio
football.
Educational Credit Union replay. So here comes Kuhn to make it a 15-0 lead. Good snap, good hold, kick up, and it is good.
Silas Kuhn, one of the steadiest kickers in the league. Kicks it through. 15-0 here early, Dylan. Looked like it could be competitive early, and the Tornadoes have now pushed it out to a 2-score lead, and Coshocton, you mentioned, they're not built to gain yards in chunks or play from behind.
You said have not given up a point. West End defense for
since September the 13th.
September 13th.
Yep, week 4.
Another quarter added to that long scoreless streak.
And that right there, you can put up all the points and flashy offensive numbers, but that right there, team defense, domination like that, will keep you in every game, including playoff games. So very excited to see the next couple weeks and how it all unfolds and where West Muskingum falls. I'd love for them to be able to host a first-round game here at Whirlwind.
Kuhn getting ready to kick this one away. This one will be stepped up and fielded by Logan Wentz, and he stumbles before he is fell to the ground about the 28-yard line.
Turf monster got him there. And you see the Tornadoes. Carter Smith runs out on the field. This kid plays with emotion. Number one's one of my favorite players in the league. He's just a sophomore. Plays with so much passion.
You can tell he loves ball.
He does.
So the temperature right now, if you're curious at home, is 57 degrees, and it'll get down to about 45 by the end of the game tonight. And, of course, Coach Brownrigg in shorts out there.
Of course.
So here comes the Coshocton offense, just under 12 to play. And it's a little reverse play as this one goes right to Wentz. And Wentz has a big crease down the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds about the 38. Very creative play call from the Redskins.
It sure was, and that's going to be a big gainer, Dylan. Maybe about a 33, 34-yard gain on the reverse. It was an inside reverse, which is tough to diagnose as a defense because they're hidden behind the line. They come so close to the backside of their lineman, it's hard to see that second handoff. The Redskins use that to their advantage right there.
So now the ball on the 35 into enemy territory for the Redskins. This will go to the other running back, Cohen Phillips. Not much there on first down.
Not much at all. A little counter play. Sometimes those can go for big yards. That's one of the staple plays in the Sheridan offense. The counter trap, and Coshocton tried to sneak it in right there, and the Tornado front was having none of it.
Second down and 10. This is going to be a jet sweep play, and it goes right back to
Carter Smith there to meet him, and it looked like initially he had a little bit of space out there. Carter Smith held him to just a 2-yard gain. It's one thing, these Tornado defenders, they rally to the football really quickly. You're looking down, you think somebody's got a little space, and all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 blue hats there to make the play.
You know, Champ Haley, leads their team in rushing but has not had a tote so far tonight. We've seen 2 other running backs. This is a fake to Haley as Conkle eyes downfield, pressure to the right. He might have to throw this one away, and he will throw it away. Thought he was going to a receiver there. Ball was intended for Jackson Smith. It was incomplete.
And bring up a 4th down and 8 for the Redskins at the Tornado 33-yard line. See what they have in mind for this. It's not an area where you can too long for a field goal, and you certainly don't want to punt. Your opponent's 33. They're no doubt going to give this one a go. See one of the Coshocton players out there, Dylan, wearing the Guardian helmet.
Yeah,
the Guardian cap, and I've never seen one in person yet.
You see it all over the NFL broadcast. It's a rule that they allowed players to wear that this year as Conkle rolls out. And he fires to a wide open receiver, but the ball just a little bit out of reach for Jackson Smith.
Is that Jackson Smith and Jigba?
I know. Every single time I say his name, I feel like I'm missing the back part of his last name.
Smith and Jigba making an impact for the Seahawks this year.
He's really taken over for Tyler Lockett in that offense, who's been there for years. But, yeah, former Buckeye making big plays. Injured a lot towards the end of his Buckeye tenure, but going back to his big game, I think about the Rose Bowl a couple of years ago. That game where he had 3 touchdowns in that one, almost 200 yards.
Now the Tornadoes take over with a 15-0 lead. That's where they're most comfortable.
Pistol formation. Here's Winland. And there is a flag down. I believe it will be holding. It's in the direction of that area.
Yep.
And that's what they got.
You see 2 flags come in from opposite directions. You know it's pretty clear down there on the field. But pretty clean game. We haven't seen a lot of penalties here yet. It's going to move the Tornadoes all the way back. 10-yard penalty.
So now 1st and 20. I think either a quick pass or you go right back to Winland here. Let's try to get some sort of yardage. And they go to Winland. Finds a little bit of a crease, but that Coshocton run defense really stepping up here this past couple drives.
Winland's still able to gain 5 yards out of that carry. And looked like there was a potential face mask in there. I couldn't tell, but it looked like there was a hand up in the face area of Winland as he cut through the hole there. No flag. As coach says, it's only a penalty if they throw the flag, which is true.
4 wide receivers for Anton, 2nd down and 14. He rolls out to his left and connects with a wide open Hill, or rather, Connor Hill. And he's tackled around the 44-yard line. Big hit there on the play.
Big gainer for number 11 here on senior night. That's going to move the chains. The Tornadoes move it into Redskin territory, the 44-yard line. Get another look at it here. Anton's so patient, waiting for Hill to break through the coverage, and Connor Hill does the rest from there.
Winland, rather Anton takes a snap and ball slips out of the hands, or he falls on it at the near the 50.
As the weather gets colder, these things become a factor. Ball security, the ball gets very slippery when it's cold out.
Lucky that ball fell right back. It took a nice bounce back to Anton. He originally looked behind him.
And when the temperatures drop like this, it's harder to grip the ball, it's harder to kick the ball, it's harder to handle the ball in general.
2nd down and 16. Anton rolling out and throws, and it's intercepted. His 2nd pick of the game. This one goes to Colton Conkle in the right place at the right time. Made a great play.
He did. That was an athletic play by Conkle. We're going to get another look at it here. Anton thought he had it, and I thought he did too. You see Conkle backtrack right in front of Braxton Brownrigg and make that play.
Tell you what, these Redskins play. The Tornadoes tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of fight left in these Redskins, that's for sure. Likely not playoff bound this year, but still trying to put forth a good effort.
So Anton came into the night with 2 interceptions on the year. He's matched that total here in the first half. And this is the first carry of the night for Champ Haley.
And he just took a hard hit from Carter Winland.
It's not someone you want to get hit straight on with.
We're going to get extracurricular activities here, Dylan. A late flag comes in near the scrum. Carter Winland absolutely laid the ball carrier out there. Check what the infraction is and who it's against. It's probably going to be a 15-yard personal foul against one or both of these squads.
So it will go on Coshocton. And you know that's unfortunate, because on the last drive, Coshocton was moving the ball down the field. They were making big plays. Then they had the blown up play behind the line of scrimmage, which, you know, there was a flag on that one for illegal formation and motion. And then here, you're moving the ball down the field, and yet again, another penalty backs you up.
And that's a dead ball penalty that happens after the play is over. So that down counted. They'll mark off the 15 from the end of the run. So that makes it second down and about 19?
Yeah. 20. So second and 20 here. Got to get all the way to the 49. And Conkle running for his life back there. And he finds a wide open receiver, but it'll only be a gain of about 1 or 2. Is there to make the catch is J.T. Newell.
And he had space. He just short-sided himself. We're going to get another look at it. As Conkle loves to roll out. Running for his life here and finally finds Newell, but he was just short-sided himself. As I said, too close to the sidelines, was unable to turn the ball upfield and gain any more yardage out of that. 3rd and 18. I'm sure this is very uncomfortable for the Redskins.
Yeah. We've seen several times Conkle out of the pocket, but a lot of pressure in his face. There hasn't been a sack yet from West Muskingum, but been able to get pressure on him.
We need a timeout by the Redskins. Their second of the half leaves them with 1 remaining before halftime. Tornadoes with all 3 of their first half timeouts in their pocket. Discussion on the Coshocton sidelines. You got to be curious on a 3rd and 18 what you could be talking about.
What do you draw up here? You know, I've seen the little screens across the middle of the field work really well for New Lex this year. It's one of those plays you don't see very often at the high school level. Just break back someone across the middle, kind of get lost in space with blocking downfield. You think for an offense like Coshocton that really relies on the short, quick passing game, that could be something that could be drawing up here.
I thought early on they were really trying to prey on the aggressiveness of the West Muskingum defense, trying to get them try to roll out one way and find a single receiver on the backside. West Muskingum very disciplined. There's so much team speed on this West Muskingum defense. It's just really hard to out-athlete this team. They're so good at every position.
I like that phrase, out-athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to beat this Tornado team. It's going to have to be scheme related. They're just very, very tough.
Just under 8 minutes until the halftime break. Conkle takes the snap. He's got all day to throw, and he loads up a deep ball that's thrown beautifully downfield. And there to make the catch, a great throwing catch. It goes to Logan Wentz.
And that was outstanding coverage by Connor Hill. We're going to see it right here on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. Huge arm for Conkle. Connor Hill just didn't get himself in the good enough position to get up and make a play on that ball. But that's just an outstanding throw and catch.
So we talk about 3rd and long not being a strength for the Coshocton offense, but right there, a big throw and catch. You know, Conkle had a touchdown that he had earlier that he was looking deep for the wide receiver Wentz, and it was just underthrown. That time it was not. And this time it is Wentz on the carry with a flag down.
Looks like this is going to be another holding infraction against Coshocton. The official indication here, Dylan. Chop block.
So once again, a positive gain with a negative result due to a penalty that will move Coshocton back.
Tornado defense bending a little tonight, but still haven't broke. Giving up a few big plays, but they've still yet to surrender a touchdown since all the way back in mid-September.
So it's a 15-yard penalty.
1st and 25.
Sure, that makes head coach Steve Smith a little upset. Not the Hall of Fame receiver. As this is Conkle. Haven't said his name on a carry much tonight. He gets about 4 or 5 yards there on that toe.
He had a couple long runs against the Ceramics a week ago. I expected him to take his share of carries coming in here tonight. That's the first time we've seen him take a direct carry that wasn't often an improvisation of some kind.
Second down at 21.
So 2nd and 21 after the gain of 4. 15-0 your score, 6:27 to play. Shotgun formation for Conkle. He motions Wentz, and they'll throw it to Wentz. And he's got blocking, but they end up making a big tackle. There on the play is Carter Smith. You know, I thought he had a crease to get at least a couple more yards on that play, but Smith came in with a big tackle.
A dangerous play, throwing that ball backwards. The receiver is not able to handle that. That's a live ball on the turf. So very risky to throw that ball laterally when it's really not necessary. Look at this formation, Dylan. First time we've seen this kind of
4 wide receivers with Conkle in the gun. Rolls out right. And he's going to have to dance. And he fires one way deep. And it is incomplete as there are 2 flags down. One in the secondary, one at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the one at the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to get Jake Anton on pass interference defensively down near the goal line. So depending on what the other flag is, these could be offsetting.
Once again, you know, we saw Conkle showcasing the big arm.
He's throwing some dangerous passes out here.
He's just slinging it around.
Across the field, back against the grain. But a 1-17 with nothing to lose, yeah, that's how you expect them to play. We'll leave it all out there on the field tonight. Still a long discussion going on here, Dylan. These very well, like I mentioned, could be offsetting penalties depending what the first infraction was near the line of scrimmage. They could very well both be on the Tornadoes. We don't know, but they're talking to Coach Brownrigg, so they're obviously asking him if he.
Pass interference against the defense. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense.
Both infractions against the Tornadoes, Dylan.
So that's a big gain for the Redskins. They move the ball close. It will be a first down.
So they got Anton on pass interference. There was also a personal foul, and the personal foul will take precedent. Coshocton will decline the PI and accept the 15-yard personal foul infraction.
So it was not a first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. Now it's 1st and goal. It's balls on the 6. So that was enough for the first down. You know, had the pass interference and those are 2 offsetting fouls that now they're not offsetting, but 2 on the defense that now they're in danger of giving up their first point since September 13th.
Yeah. We'll see what the defense is made of here because they're going to get Coshocton's going to get 4 cracks at this from the 6.
The first one will be Conkle, and he is brought down once again. Smith in there along with another defender. As that is
Cooper McKenzie was the second Tornado there, along with Carter Smith. That play never had a chance. You saw the replay right there.
Yeah, McKenzie, the sophomore, in there to make a tackle.
And that moves it all the way back to the 11. 5-yard loss.
Right when you said 4 cracks from the 6, they move it back. So 2nd and goal from the 11. And this will be a give to the running back, Wentz, on the carry.
And I think that was Carter Smith once again saving the touchdown for the Tornadoes. Just barely able to trip him up. We're going to get another look at it here. Another double handoff inside. And that was Carter Smith on the tackle. saves the touchdown for West Muskingum.
Third down and goal. Just
With this offense, you really got to picture the ball moving in different spots. The only way to get you prepared is watching one of those follow the hat things when you're at a game and see it on the video boards. This is a rollout by Conkle, flag down, fires deep to nobody.
And that could potentially be grounding if they wanted to throw a flag. I don't see a second one. Going to be a holding infraction nonetheless against the Redskins.
So holding will move them back even further.
Well, if you're Coach Brownrigg, do you decline this and make it 4th and goal from the 5? That's an interesting call here for Coach Brownrigg. Do you give them 3rd and goal from the 15 or 4th and goal from the 5?
I think I'd take my chances on the 15. That is a very tough decision to make. Looks like the offense is backing up, and he will take it at the 15.
And I think that's a good sound decision by Coach Brownrigg, because I think he's very comfortable knowing his defense is unlikely to give up a 15-yard chunk here, but they could sneak something in there from 5.
I don't see a kicker warming up on the Coshocton sideline, so it looks like it'll be 2 cracks for the end zone here. Conkle with the snap. It'll be a direct give. And he just fights to get to the 9, maybe the 10.
When you see that play call on 3rd and goal from the 15, you know they're going for this 4th down. They did not even attempt anything near the goal line passing-wise. So we'll get it back around the 10. We'll see if they might attempt a field goal here. Looks like we have a place kicker coming on the field here, Dylan. Or not.
Yeah, it is. I believe it is a PAT. That was a weird, or not a PAT, rather a field goal attempt. It was a weird setup. On for the PAT is Cooper George. His kick is up, and it's off the upright.
Off the upright. 27-yard field goal officially is no good off the right upright. Plenty of distance. Just a little bit to the right. So the Tornadoes' scoreless streak continues defensively.
Potentially for another quarter, as we have 3:14 before the halftime break.
You know, we saw a first half similar to this the last time we were here against the Morgan Raiders. It looked like West Muskingum kind of, don't want to say they played poorly, but they kind of sleptwalked through the first half and came out with a resurgence in the second half. Wonder if that will happen again tonight.
2 wide receivers for Anton. And he will keep it himself. Runs left, spins, and gets to about the gain of 6 there.
I just wonder how aggressive Coach Brownrigg wants to get here with just 3 minutes left before the break. Anton's already a pair of picks on his stat sheet here tonight. He's thrown 2 and he's made 1 defensively.
So 2nd down and 5. This will be a jet sweep to Winland. Winland with a big burst. Gets past the 40. Jukes a defender to the 45.
Yeah, great call, Dylan. That was a burst. As soon as he saw that hole open up, he put his foot in the ground and he was upfield in a hurry. Take a look at this one, folks, on the Higher Educational Credit Union replay. That's a 205-pound player right there, moving down the field quickly.
So it was a reception if you're on the track for the 1,000-yard mark tonight. He is not there yet. He needs just 7 more rushing yards. So that was a reception there because it was tossed by Anton. This is Connor Hill, and Carter Smith is tripped up about the 32.
Great run by Smith, right in between the tackles. See him here, cuts it right in between, right through the teeth of the Redskins defense. Shoestring tackle able to bring him down. Tornadoes moving it down the field quickly here, Dylan.
Just over 2 minutes before the halftime break. 15-0 West End lead. This is Winland. Winland to the right, another flag down, so both in the backfield. And another flag. It might be a little extracurricular after the play.
We've seen a few of those here tonight. These two schools, small school division foes. They see one another each and every year, very familiar with one another. We mentioned last year's game, 57-56, so you got to wonder if that game is playing into the emotions of this game tonight.
Holding against the offense. Dead ball, personal foul against the defense.
So one flag on the offense and one on the defense. It's a personal foul after the play and then a holding on the offense. I think the personal foul will trump the holding there. So it is first down and 5 on the 26. Two wide receivers to the right. It's Brownrigg and Bennett. Haven't said Bennett's name yet tonight. Talented wide receiver on this Tornado offense.
Bennett, Brownrigg are out there now, but Carter Smith and Connor Hill are also wide receivers. As we've mentioned all season, just so many weapons Anton has to choose from when he sends the receivers out on routes.
This will be Carter Winland. Winland forward. He's got a crease to the end zone. He's got 1,000 yards and his second touchdown of the game.
He's got it all, man. He's got the speed, the power, the vision, the burst. Everything you want in a running back, he has. You see him right here, the footwork. Just doesn't miss a beat when he moves laterally, and then once he gets in the open field, turns on the jets as fast as anyone on the field. They just acknowledge his 1,000-yard rushing season here at the stadium through the PA system.
So another 1,000-yard running back. We saw Cisse do it last year. Just a great chain of running backs coming through this program. As the PAT by Silas Kuhn is good. The year before Cisse, Ty Schauger, a great running back for West Em. So, you saw Schauger to Cisse to...
Well, what happens when you establish a culture of winning and success, as Brownrigg has here at the varsity level? It makes all the youth within your school interested in football, and it creates an upswing in participation in youth football, junior high football. It all filters down.
And we've seen Grant Rogers get into some games, the sophomore running back, and he looks like he runs well. So could be his backfield next year. Maybe he gets a crack to make it another 1,000-yard rusher. So 22-0 your score here from West Muskingum on Senior Day.
It's 22-0, but it just doesn't seem like the Redskins have been outplayed that bad.
Yeah, they've been stride for stride. Couple conversion attempts they had on fourth down that just didn't go their way. Couple big throws, and not getting points on that last possession definitely has to hurt, as that is a miscommunication, but it'll be picked up by Wentz, and he is tackled at the 24-yard line.
Connor Hill, Taven Bennett combine on the stop for the Tornadoes. Tornadoes going to have to make one more defensive stand to pitch this first half shutout intact.
Tell you what, I think Braxton Brownrigg has a career at SAG-AFTRA after this. Yeah, just got slightly touched on the kickoff and jumped about 5 yards back, trying to sell a penalty there on the kick return there.
Maybe he's a former soccer player.
Yeah, yeah, could be. So 1:41 before halftime, 22-0 your score.
That play going nowhere, Dylan.
West Em defense getting in there, and you got to think it's timeout time here for West Em. They got all three.
Suffocating defense. especially against the run. You're right, Dylan. Coach Brownrigg going to start to utilize those timeouts he has in his pocket right here. Has 3 of them. You can't take them with you to the second half.
So 126. If they get 2 more stops, they'll stop it 2 more times and try to get another score to make it 29-0 before the halftime break. I want to remind you, coming up at halftime, it is the CA Music House Play Music for Life. Join us for the CA Music House halftime show. The bands will get out here and put their best performance forward on senior night. The Coshocton band already out on the field, or rather on their sideline getting ready to come out on the field. We've heard a lot of great performances on the CA Music House halftime show this year.
Yeah, I like the a couple weeks ago when we were down at Crooksville when they had their alumni night and invited all the alumni formerly in the band to come play with the current band that night. I thought that was pretty cool.
Had the former cheerleaders as well. Just a great way to honor those that came through the programs.
It was another one of those double handoff plays. The 3rd time they've ran that here in the first half, and they're finding a little bit of daylight on the edge with that play. I'm sure West Muskingum at half is going to get some instruction from Coach Brownrigg on how to diagnose that play.
That was Cohen Phillips. The ball did end up on the ground, but he was able to scoop it right back up. Timeout. West M, 1:19 before halftime. 3rd down and 6 now.
Yeah, able to gain 6 yards on that play. That's a pretty good chunk running the football against this team. As I mentioned earlier, just 3.3 yards per carry the West Muskingum defense averages allowing to their opponent's ball carriers. So very, very stingy. I also got to believe when you talk about the playoffs that win week 2 at Licking Valley, a Division III team, a Division IV team, who has yet to lose another game since then.
Yeah.
They've been on a streak. They just beat Granville, who was unbeaten a week ago. Those are second-level points the Tornadoes are going to be getting as the season moves along. So still a realistic chance for them to sneak into the 7 or 8 seed and host a game here.
Conkle rolls left, and he's just going to fire that one incomplete. So that does stop the clock at 1:13. Brownrigg will have another timeout and 1:13 to score before the halftime break.
I'm a little surprised Coshocton didn't run the football and force the Tornadoes to use that final timeout. So not only will they have more than a minute, they'll have a timeout in their pocket here, Dylan. So we've certainly seen the Tornadoes move down the field in less time.
And now we've mentioned earlier in the broadcast, a backup punter now, as we saw Hayden Young get hurt earlier in the game. Great punt last time from Cohen Phillips. See what he's got in store now. Hill and Smith back to return for the Tornadoes. And this one, another beautiful punt.
Gets a lot of height on those punts.
It'll be fielded by Carter Smith. He bounces outside. He's got a crease. He's down past the 40. And he jukes in front, keeps his eyes downfield, and he goes in for the touchdown. A huge punt return for the Tornadoes.
I hope we get a second look at this one here, Dylan, because Carter Smith just put his athleticism on full display right there. Number 1, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore for the Tornadoes. One of the most athletic players you'll find in the league.
So he has a touchdown catch in this one, and now he has...
Yeah, we're going to get another look at it right here. Just this was all Carter Smith. And he fields it. And see, some of the Redskins should have had him right there. Right there. There's 4, 5, 6. How many? Count them. I mean, they're... And then as soon as he gets past, he turns on the jets and makes one final cut inside. Just fearless. Excellent basketball player as well. Made a big impact on the hardwood last year as a freshman.
Yeah, excited to see his growth in that area this year on the court as well.
He certainly doesn't lack confidence.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, sometimes a hurdle to climb for young players is do they feel like they belong? And you saw that with Jake Anton as a sophomore. You could see the talent and the potential. He's just really indecisive and made some bad decisions. Now as a senior, they're reaping the benefits of that playing experience.
So 28-0 the score. The offense still on the field. They're going to try to make it 30. We're about one score away from a running clock as well.
Which is surprising. I wasn't thinking about that coming in here. You know, thought Coshocton would be able to keep this one close. We still have 2 quarters to play. But if the Tornadoes really wanted to step on the throat, they'll go for 2 right here, which they are, and make it 30 right now before they head into the locker room.
They'll pitch it to Winland, and he's got easy running room in for the score, the 2-point score, so it's 30-0 with 55 seconds before the halftime break. It's been all Tornadoes in this one.
I don't remember who received the opening kickoff, do you?
I believe we saw Coshocton on the field first.
So if the Tornadoes get the ball coming out of the locker room with a running clock, it's bad news for the Redskins.
Yeah, West End will get the ball. We saw Conkle throw the interception on the first drive to Anton. And then Anton matched him by throwing an interception on the first possession for West End. So
Anton's thrown as many picks tonight as he had in 7 games coming into tonight. He also got one defensively, so
yeah.
We'll say that one cancels out one.
It's a great game so far for Carter Smith. The punt return touchdown. He's made tons of tackles on the defensive side for big stops, especially inside the red zone, and he caught a receiving touchdown on a deep ball earlier in the contest as well.
Memory serves me right. Wasn't he our player of the game against Morgan
He was.
2 weeks ago?
So this one kicked real deep by Silas Kuhn. It is fielded by Phillips, and he is brought down. It's been, I think every drive started on the 24 that's been kicked deep. So great leg from Silas Kuhn. 50 seconds, you got to think maybe they'll run it out to halftime. But as we mentioned, West End will get the ball to start the second half.
Yard return by Phillips. Coshocton takes over first and 10.
Conkle motions a receiver. This will be a give to Champ Haley.
Stop in his tracks right there. Talk a lot about Winland and Houston at the linebacker position. They're as sure tacklers as you're going to find, but the interior 3 for West Muskingum, all seniors. Caden Fleming, Cale McGreevy, and Evan Lewis, interior defensive lineman for West Muskingum. Don't get enough recognition. We don't call their name a lot, but I wanted to shout them out right there as week in and week out. They set the tone up front.
They do, for sure, on this one. They've been getting in the backfield several times tonight, and the Redskins are content with taking this one to the locker room. So that'll do it for the first half. 30-0 West End. They've made plays on defense with an interception. They got a punt return. They've got a passing touchdown. They got a rushing touchdown in this one. They've just made plays in every facet of the game so far.
They have, and even a couple times Coshocton was knocking on the door, getting ready to score, and the Tornadoes defense stood tall and continued this scoreless streak.
So that'll do it for the first half here from West Muskingum. They lead 30-0 here on senior night. Stick around because we got the CA Music House Play Music for Life, the halftime show with the bands getting ready to take the field here at West End. But 30-0 your score. As we head to break, we'll be back with the second half action right after that CA Music House halftime show. You're watching MVL football on South 60 Films.
You're watching the Tornadoes on South 60 Films.
Coshocton High School proudly presents the 2024 National Game under the National High School College High School. Assistant Director is Mr. Coach Howard and Mr. Robert Miller. The Colorado Advisor, Ronnie Burkhead. The band is now in the field by Chris Myers and Leo Wendy.
Now it's time for the halftime show featuring bands from both high schools, presented by CA House Music. Play music for life.
This year's competition show, Enigma Wrapped in Shadow, explores the secret world of spies in the intelligence community. The three sections of the show are Echoes of Deception, Whispers in Dark, and Revelation, the Truth will set you free. Featured players are Gavin Griffiths on trumpet, Jocelyn Moses on Polygon, Caden Griffiths on tuba, and Jacob Maloney on tenor sax. We hope you enjoy Enigma Wrapped in Shadow. The Coshocton Band, thank you for your kind attention. We would like to wish the West Muskingum Band the best of luck throughout their season. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the new sideline. The 2024 edition of the Tornado Marching Band is now in the field. During the 29th season of the regulation of the league. The band starts tonight with a pop song that debuted at number 9 before popping out at number 2 in the place. Here's Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. English Albanian top star Bill Luther had a second top 5 hit on the U.S. Radio Next Song, represents the #1 song for 2021. The band continues tonight with Levitating. The band finishes tonight with a hit song from one of the 80s most epic hair bands, Twisted Sister. Sing along as the band rocks out to "We're Not Gonna Take It."
Thank you for watching the band halftime show presented by CA House Music. Play music for life.
we welcome you back here to West Muskingum. You know, it's been it's been one-sided here in this one so far. We'll take a look at some of the first half highlights. So Colton Conkle eyes downfield. This was the first drive of the game. Throws it deep, and Jake Anton right there to make the play.
Athletic play to boot by Anton. Backtrack and was able to jump up and grab that one.
So he had the interception, and then on the first West Muskingum drive, he throws one himself.
I thought that was really the first poor decision I seen him make, the only poor decision I seen him make in this game. He probably should have just eaten that football.
And we see Carter Windland get in the end zone. He eclipsed over 1,000 yards already on the year in this one, and that's a beautiful ball to Carter Smith.
Sure is. Carter Smith created the separation downfield. Anton recognized it and put it right on him.
And then Anton again rolling out right when he saw this. His second interception matched his season total in that one in the first half.
That defensive play by Colton Conkle equally as athletic as the one Anton made defensively. This right here is the most impressive run of the game in my opinion. Carter Windland right through the teeth of the defense, showing you lateral quickness and straight line speed all in one run.
That was the run that eclipsed him over 1,000 on the year. Now up to a total of 14 touchdowns as we get set to kick this one away, as this is the first kickoff we've seen from Coshocton, and it goes out of bounds. So not the best start to the second half after coming out down 30.
Great decision by Carter Smith to let that go. He nearly picked that football up, and I know his mindset. He always wants to make a play, but absolutely the right decision to let that ball go out of bounds. You're going to get the football all the way up at the 35-yard line.
And you know, you got to think, he just returned a punt. He returned a punt in the first half, so he's probably feeling, all right, I can pick this up and go all the way. But it's a smart play there.
You love the confidence in kids like that, their belief in themselves, but you also like them to make good, sound decisions, as Smith did right there, as just a sophomore. What do we got here, Dylan? A little discussion here between the teams and officials.
They're awful close.
Just wonder if it was kind of an excessive amount of personal fouls in the first half. You got to wonder if they're having a quick discussion with both squads about that, how to keep the second half clean. No doubt that's what that was about, as you see players exchanging taps to each other's helmets.
It's a new thing instead of losing or
Great job by the officials getting together, having that little discussion with the teams.
See if this second half is clean in terms of the personal foul department. 11:40, and I said fouls, and this one is not a personal foul, but jumped off sides there from Coshocton.
It looked like the guilty party was wearing 86, left defensive end, or was it 66? We don't have an 86. Colton Tidwell, 215-pound junior, guilty of the offsides infraction.
First and 5, 30-0 the score. So a first play was a kickoff out of bounds, and then you get a offsides penalty. Anton looks and fires to Windland, and he's across the 40, and he's still on his feet past the 30, and he's still on his feet as there are several flags down, and he trots his way into the end zone. I have a great feeling this is coming back. One ref signaling touchdown.
Those flags came out, look in the area where Carter Smith was blocking for Windland. I didn't see exactly what the infraction was. Could be a block in the back, which is what it is. You're going to get another look at it here, Dylan. High Educational Credit Union replay. See Windland sneak out of the backfield. Take a look here. The top of your screen, right there, blocking the back by Carter Smith.
He immediately looks up with his hands up, wondering what he did wrong, but still a first down because there's a lot of yards picked up before that flag took place. 4 wide receivers for Anton with Windland to his right. Now they shift to the pistol formation. Anton to Windland. He bounces out left, jukes forward, and it's about 9 yards on first down. I tell you, big gain after big gain for Windland in the backfield.
He's going to increase his average tonight. Average is 7.7 yards per carry coming in, but no doubt that's going to go up after tonight's performance. Consistently getting 8, 10, 12-yard chunks, if not more. I think that play initially was designed to go in the B gap, and it was clogged up, so Winland just bounced it out to the left edge. Just outstanding vision and the skill set to match.
A shoe tie timeout here. Got to make sure those are laced up, especially at the safety position. You don't want your shoe falling off and being the reason for a big touchdown. Brownrigg, the receiver, to the right of Anton. They're in the I formation. Got Bennett to the top. This is Winland. Winland with some blocking in front. He just stays on his feet and gains positive yards to the 20.
Another big gain for Winland. Followed his block exceptionally well on that run. Very patient, waited for it to develop. Moving right down the field here on the opening drive of the second half, Dylan. The Tornadoes seem to be poised to put another one here in the end zone.
And there's a flag. I believe it's a false start. You know, they kind of went Tri-Valley style there. Ran up to the line, got set, and then looked to the sideline to see what they wanted to do. Now the officials will discuss.
So they're going to wave that one off after a discussion, quick discussion, and some assistance from Coach Nate Brownrigg.
So we're at 7:40 left here in the third quarter. I believe it's the same play.
Yeah.
Same formation, same personnel.
You don't see them do that offensively very often.
There goes Winland with Houston out in front. He leaps over a defender before being pushed out, but he does get the first down. So another move of the chains. He just knows what to do with the ball in his hand. Like, he knows when to leap a defender, when to juke, when to spin, when to lower a shoulder.
It's one thing to have the skill set that he has, but his instincts and vision and all the intangibles that go with the physical attributes is what makes him so special.
I don't know if it's the number 10, but he reminds me a lot of Isaiah Pacheco on the Chiefs. Where he's got that quick burst, he can hit you hard, and he can also use his speed and make a play.
Got West Houston here.
Look at that. Now you got the hammer running down as he goes to about the 5 before he is tackled. So you got the bowling ball and the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. Number 33, West Houston. Big load to bring down, but the Redskins able to inside the 5. It's going to be second down and goal.
Now wing T formation. Haven't seen this much from the Tornadoes, and it's Houston again. He's hit hard, and the lines will shove. He is not in the end zone.
We saw him, we were here watching the Morgan Raider game. Took a screen pass and ran about 40 or 50 yards right down the sideline, and that's the first time I ever seen Houston in the open field running with the ball in his hands. And he's got some serious speed.
Yeah. Just over 5 minutes here in the third quarter.
It's going to be third down, and as they go, or can they get a first down?
They can get a first. The first down marker is the 2. Anton, great play call, rolls out left. He's got everywhere to go into the end zone for a touchdown. So the first rushing score of the night for Anton puts the Tornadoes up 36-0.
See Anton, great fake execution. Nobody there on the backside to cover the QB, and he strolls right in uncontested.
So with the running clock, third quarter flying by, just over 4 minutes to play. As Silas Kuhn tries to make this 37-0. There's a bobbled hold, but it's up and good. So right out of the halftime intermission, West Em rolls their way down the field and puts up another 7 points on the board.
The Tornadoes continue to roll. Scoreless streak continues. They're about to kick off to the Redskins and put their defensive unit back on the field. But since that loss to New Lexington, they have really played some outstanding football. And the 2 weeks prior to that, weeks 2 and 3, they had really tough non-conference games at Licking Valley and here at home against Garraway. They went 1-1 in those games, but those games were decided, both of them, in the final minute, as was the New Lex game. So they went weeks 2, 3, 3 consecutive weeks where their outcomes were decided in the final minute of the game. This 5-2 Tornadoes team could very easily be 7-0.
They very well could. As now Kuhn will kick it deep. 37-0, just over 4 to play, quarter number 3. That's a big boot. That one could have been maybe kicked out of bounds should he let it roll, but instead it's going to be a return from Cohen Phillips, and he's drilled. And there's a flag down after the play. So the clock winds with the flag down. I believe it was Brownrigg and JT Newell.
Blocking the back against the Redskins, so that's going to set them back even further to begin this drive.
So that goes against Newell. They've been battling on these kickoffs. I told you I thought that Brownrigg was selling the the acting on the one kick return, and this time he may have gotten the call or looked a little bit more clear blocking the back on that one.
So Coshocton finds themselves in a helpless position. They're going to be unable to stop this running clock unless they score twice, or unless they convert a 2-point conversion with a touchdown.
And this clock just continues to wind. I mean, we're just over 3 minutes now. It took about 1:30 as they moved the ball back.
So in week 9, I know next week, week 10, the Tornadoes have a tougher task against the Colts from Meadowbrook. That's a tough week 10 opponent.
Justice Huey, the all-time leading passer of that program. A lot of receiver talent there as well. We saw them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Huey, the league leader in passing yards, better than 2,300 yards through 8 weeks. So he can sling it around. He's got a couple of receivers who are in the top 5 and catches in the league as well.
They are very talented. I think we saw them at Philo a couple of weeks back. Yeah, the big wide receivers, you got Nick Norman, you got Cedar, you got Lowry, Braylon Lowry, so a lot of many targets to choose from there. So this will be a give, and this is the first time we will say the name of Isaiah Bronston, senior running back. So we've seen Bronston, we've seen Phillips, Haley, and Wentz all get carries, as well as Conkle, the quarterback. So using the entire depth chart and roster here tonight.
Couple of quick plays on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down and 6. Long 5 for the Redskins.
So another one of those double handoffs. West Em not fooled.
There you see them. They diagnosed that play from the beginning much better. So something happened in the halftime locker room where Coach Brownrigg instructed his players on how to diagnosed that double handoff, and the second handoff comes on the inside. It's kind of hidden behind the lineman. Very effective play when carried out.
So just over a minute 20 here, as we will see the third punt of the day from Cohen Phillips. 2 returners deep. It is Hill and it is Smith.
Yeah, that Hayden Young, who was injured in the first few minutes of this game, you mentioned his punting accolades, but that ball on the football on the ground, Connor Hill able to fall back on it. But you mentioned his punting accolades, but you got to wonder how much they're missing him out on the field as a defensive player at 6'1", 210-pound linebacker.
Yeah. Also plays the offensive line. It's where he got hurt. He's hurt on the line. Yeah, that ball just, you mentioned it gets slippery, it's cold, and it's hard, so it's very hard to handle.
Yeah. Ball security is always paramount. The later you get into the season, the elements definitely play a factor.
So under 30 seconds here. This will be a give to Winland. Winland with a crease, a flag down. I believe it's holding. He just fights off everybody inside the 5. You know, here's one note. I don't know if we really hit on it here tonight. There have been a lot of holding calls on West M.
There have.
You know, it could be a much higher score, but something I'm sure Coach Brownrigg, even with a blowout win tonight, as it appears to be that way, you know, it's probably something that is frustrating him right now, because that can't happen later on in the year.
You can't have those type of infractions over and over and over again in a postseason game when you're playing a high-quality opponent. But this West Muskingum team has a knack for playing to the level of their opponent at times, but they haven't taken anyone for granted here in the last few weeks. We mentioned nobody's even able to score a single point on this Tornadoes team. So, I think that was officially the end of the third quarter, Dylan, but I think this might be an untimed down.
Might be. They're not moving the ball to the other side of the field.
Usually untimed downs are when the quarter ends or something ends on a defensive penalty, not an offensive penalty, which is puzzling. But that's apparently what we have here.
So this will be a running back. Oh, look at that. It's Carter Smith in the backfield getting the carry.
Very rarely does he take the handoff and go right through the A gap, right into the teeth of the defense. He usually gets the ball on jet sweeps, screen passes, or downfield passes. Lined him up right in the backfield and handed him the ball there. Very effective.
So that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. 37-0 your score. Senior night, you know, they're getting a real test and real nice performance from their home team here tonight. 37-0 West End beating Coshocton. That'll do it for the third quarter. We'll be back with quarter number 4. You're watching MVL Football on South 60 Films.
You're watching the Tornadoes on South 60 Films.
Quarter number 4. 12 minutes on a running clock. So if you got plans at 9:30, it should be out by now.
New Lex with possession, or West Muskingum rather, I'm sorry. West Muskingum knocking on the door once again.
You must be watching the other monitor in the truck all the way. We're on the roof. The truck says the New Lex has possession right now too. So this is a give to Winland. Tons of space, shrugs off a defender.
Look at the stiff arm.
I mean, just an outstanding run from the MVL's top leading rusher, over 1,000 yards. That's his third score of the day. Each week continues to impress.
He sure does. We're going to get another look at it here in the Ohio Educational Credit Union instant replay, and he gave a stiff arm at the end of this run to number 8, Logan Wentz, right there. Says, not today, young man. That's his 3rd of the night, correct?
That is. Had the short
This is
yardage
Weston
run
football.
earlier. He had the run that eclipsed him over 1,000, and then he's got this big one right here.
That give him 15 rushing touchdowns on the year.
You know, you talk about MVL Player of the Year. He really well could be in that conversation.
You know, when I was looking at the fact that he has separated himself from the rest of the league as far as rushing yards and rushing average, and he's done it in one fewer game, I think that alone is impressive enough. But if you look at what he does defensively for this team, I mean, he's constantly involved in each and every play. If he's not making the tackle, he's setting his teammates up in position to make the tackle. So, number 10 means a lot to this West Muskingum team, and he sure plays hard each and every down. He never takes a down off.
Extremely talented. Yep. You know, I said it feels like they haven't missed a beat losing Rashid Cisse.
I know we've got some quarterbacks in the league putting up some great numbers this year. Stevens in New Lexington, Max Lyle in Dresden, Justice Huey in Byesville. But, for my money, Carter Winland has got to be in the discussion for League Player of the Year.
You know, you talk about the quarterback matchup next week, Huey versus Anton. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of offensive firepower there. But you mentioned the defense of West Em still not allowing a point since early September. As that ball looked like it was going to go out of bounds, it checked up.
And that's a live football. So great awareness for the Redskin player, just Cohen Phillips, to pick up that football. And it's these situations right here, Dylan, where the West Muskingum defense always impresses me. The game's totally out of hand, 44-0 with the running clock, but this West End defense is still going to come out here and give maximum effort. They're not going to give an inch. That's the mentality that I've been most impressed with through this season. Even when the games are out of hand, the defense still continues to play at an elite level.
So 44-0 is score.
There's the double handoff again.
And once again, it is stopped short.
That's at least the 5th time they ran that play. The 2nd time here in the second half. They ran it 3 or 4 times in the first half. And they were getting some chunk yardage off that play in the first half, but not so much here in the second half, as the Tornadoes stopped that for just a 1-yard gain.
We're now down to 50 degrees.
It feels like it.
A lot of fans out here breaking out the windbreakers and their toboggans and everything else that goes into the colder weather. As that's another small gain on a run there.
I remember years ago calling a Sheridan New Lex Week 10 game in New Lexington, and the snow was just coming down. Yeah, this time of year, it's unpredictable. You can get some very unkind weather.
Tri-Valley leads Sheridan 21-3 in the third quarter, so that's a game that a lot of people have circled year in and year out. Tri-Valley showing their dominance for a second consecutive year.
Yeah, the Generals, very young team. Winners of 5 consecutive games, the Generals. Started off 1-2. A lot of people in the area talking about, Sheridan being a little bit down this year, but here they come. 5 straight victories, 6-2 coming into the Week 9 matchup against the Dogs. I think the Generals just a little young and green to hang in there with the Scotties this year.
Yeah.
A lot of sophomores on that Sheridan squad. Be a dangerous team in the coming years.
Right, give them a year. I mean, they'll be competitive next year, I'd assume, and then their senior year will be right back to where they were last year. This kicks away and called for a fair catch and taken at the 44-yard line. I've been impressed with Cohen Phillips.
He stepped in well as the backup punter. That's at least the 3rd punt we saw him get off with great hang time, great distance. But the outcome of this one's been decided a while ago, 44-0 as we're under a running clock here at Whirlwind. Another impressive performance by the Tornadoes. And if they can next week, if they can hold the Colts scoreless, that would really be impressive.
Then you're looking at very serious threat to what they can bring in the postseason.
Because their last three opponents that they have shut out have been Morgan, Maysville, and Crooksville. Although not league's elite teams, still capable of putting points on the board, but nothing like the dynamic spread offense of the Meadowbrook Colts.
Big lead at hand, so we see the night of Jake Anton come to an end, as there's a first down carry. As it's a couple yards there on first down. That is Amari Harris on the carry.
Harris, a young player, just a freshman.
Came in number 0 on the roster sheet, but
we've seen him make a lot of big plays on special teams units this year, but first time we've really seen him get in there and cut his teeth offensively.
Harris again. Pretty big gain, short of the first down mark. He's listed as a tight end linebacker on the sheet, but you mentioned 5'10", 190. He could be a good back, showcasing his speed so far.
And just a freshman, you got to imagine he's probably 14 years old at that size, maybe 15 at the oldest. A lot of growing left to do in those young bones.
I think they are set up for the future there. The running back position has been one of a threat for several years now, as you see another big carry from Harris, and there's a flag down. Well, we see Amari Harris here. We saw Rogers a couple weeks ago, Grant Rogers. He's gotten some time in some blowout action, so I think, those two together, if you think about the West Houston combo right now with Noah Winland, those two can provide a threat in years to come.
It's Carter Winland.
Yeah.
Noah Winland was the quarterback for John Glenn last year.
That's right. See, I knew there was a Noah Winland somewhere.
There is.
Said Carter's name all night tonight, He's checked out of the ball game, so he's crossed off the list. 3rd down and 3. And Noah Morrison is the quarterback. It's probably where I mixed up the two, as there's a handoff that is put on the ground. Morrison trying to make something out of nothing. He stays on his feet, and he's hit hard right at the first down mark. Don't know if he got it. There is a flag down.
Running for his life right there. The young QB, just a freshman. We're going to take another look at this. Miscommunication at the point of the handoff. Morrison just makes the best of a bad situation. Just a freshman, 5'8", 130 pounds. Not a lot to that young man, but he shows no fear.
So they're going to go for it here on this 4th and inches. They motion Denty Tyson. And there is Harris. Amari Harris lowers the shoulder, stays on his feet, pushes the ref out of the way, and keeps going. Harris to the 22-yard line. A big run from the freshman.
And great run by Harris. Get a second look right here. Dragging a pair of Redskins an additional 6 or 7 yards downfield. So we have another Coshocton player down, injured on the turf. So the clock will stop temporarily for the injury. Just 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in this contest.
I want to remind you of some of the sponsors from tonight. Fink's Harley-Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. Fink's Quality Cars and RVs, quick as a wink, deal with Fink. And Fink's Easy Leasing and Rental. Kokona's Furniture and Mattress First, always making it easier for you to furnish your home. Levy's Zanesville Flooring Store. And, of course, coming up at the end of the game, our City Tire Pro, Coshocton Tire Pro, and Buckeye Tire Pros Player of the Game.
We're running out of players to give this award to for the West Muskingum team.
Can't repeat people, you know. We've given it to Winland. We've given it to Anton. Smith has gotten
was
it.
last time.
I think West Houston's gotten it as well. So, going to have to get creative here tonight. Tell you what, if Harris finds his way in the end zone, he may get one. Freshman getting, he's got about 60 yards on this drive.
Number 62, Hayden Slaughter's the injured player being assisted off the field for Coshocton.
Tell you what, 99 as a tailback. That's a good number. He was number 0 coming into tonight, but 99. Slap the number on and go run.
Yep. We talked about a week ago or a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure the numbers are as significant as they once were. You know, we saw a quarterback wearing 28 or something a couple weeks ago down at Crooksville.
Saw Devin Brown kind of start that trend at Ohio State wearing 33. As there is Rogers hitting the backfield. Initially stays on his feet before falling forward for about a yard.
If the Tornadoes hold serve here and do not allow a point here in the final 3 minutes, it's going to be 4 consecutive shutouts. And if you count the cancellation in week 5, it's just been a long time since anybody's scored a single point against West Muskingum.
There is Harris again.
Fighting.
Just under 3 minutes to play. We wrap things up here from West M. I said it, the fans treated to a nice win at home here on senior night.
It's just very unfortunate that week 5 game was canceled by Riverview, because that's really affecting the playoff positioning for the Tornadoes, and that was of no fault of their own. You know, they were ready to play that night. It was the Black Bears who were not. So I don't know why the Tornadoes will get penalized, but they are.
So Morrison will give to the tailback and tackled just right at the line of scrimmage. That is Nick Magers on the carry.
No doubt the Tornadoes are going to go for this 4th down and 8 from the 20-yard line. See if they let the young freshman Morrison put one up in the air. We yet to see him attempt to pass since he's came in the game.
5'8", 130 is Morrison. Took a big hit. He scrambled. He showcased his ability, his athletic ability on a run earlier, but
and great awareness to hold on to the football. You see when he got some space, he looked like he wanted to get rid of the football, but he elected to keep it on that play. Timeout by the Tornadoes. First time out of the half by either team.
Clock stops at 1:35 remaining in this one.
He looks like he's sending Silas Kuhn out. Going to try what looks to be a 37-yard field goal here, Dylan.
Yeah, we saw him do this a couple weeks ago, and I think, but I mentioned last time he decided to do this in a blowout game. You know, give your kicker those game reps late in a game. You know, I know the score's out of hand, but you may have to need one of those big kicks from Kuhn later in the year where you're just pushing to get yardage against a good team in the playoffs, and who knows, Kuhn puts one through here, might help him, and not only that, give Coach Brownrigg confidence to reel him out there late in the game.
Ooh,
he just fell down trying to warm up his kick.
I couldn't agree more with you, Dylan. Coach Brownrigg is going to let him attempt this 37-yard field goal, and he'll have a good idea of his range going forward in this kind of weather.
I said Anton's night's done. That's not the case. He's the holder here on this long field goal attempt.
Kuhn definitely has the leg for this.
Good snap, good hold, kick up, and it
just
is
off.
Wide left.
I think it would have been good if it was on line.
The distance is there.
He didn't miss it by much. Just 3 or 4 yards left of the left upright.
So now Coshocton will take over, but the clock already under a minute here. He might get one more play before we say goodbye from West M.
Baseball short, bottom of the third, New York 3, Cleveland 2.
So one final play. We did just get a final score in. New Lexington over Crooksville, 38-10. A receiver in motion, and will be tackled. That right there on the carry was Cash Murphy, the freshman, getting involved here on the Coshocton side as well. And that play will end the ball game. So the 10 seconds on the clock will wind off here.
Curious to see how Bentley Hansen did tonight for the Panthers. Coming into tonight, 794 receiving yards, on pace for a 1,000-yard receiving season in the MVL. That would be unbelievable.
It would. Well, we saw a 1,000-yard rusher tonight.
Yep, but 1,000-yard receivers are few and far between in the Muskingum Valley League.
Right, we've seen just a handful of those in the past several years. But West Ham gets it done here on senior night, 44-0 the final score. Tons of contributors and all three facets of the game making plays there for West Ham. But we're going to wrap things up as we come back here for the halftime or the post-game show and bring you the City Tire Pros Player of the Game. We'll step aside and be back with the post-game show. You're watching MVL football on South 60 Films. We welcome you back to West Muskingum High School, a dominating win on senior night against Coshocton here tonight. 44-0, so let's take a look back at some of the highlights. Coshocton was driving here to start the game, but Jake Anton really eliminated that with an interception.
Yeah, the Redskins threatened several times in the first half to score, but the West Muskingum defense stood tall.
Then we saw Anton throw an interception himself. That was picked off there by Wentz.
You see Winland here, first of his 3 scores.
It's a small crease, a short run there for Winland, was shortest one of the night. And then Anton showing off that big arm with a deep ball to Carter Smith.
Yep, strong arm, very accurate as well. Hits Carter Smith in stride.
So then Anton again. This time was an interception. It was picked off by Colton Conkle, the opposing quarterback.
And that one was just great athletic play by Conkle.
So here you see the big run of the night.
Very impressive run there.
Just great balance and great position there from Winland. That got him over 1,000 yards for the score. and that will do it for some of those highlights that you saw there in the first half. So a great game from West End. We talk about, well, let's dive into next week. You know, you got a Meadowbrook team that can pass the ball. The defense of West End hasn't given up a score since the September 13th. So they're going to be tested here against a Meadowbrook team that can throw it around.
They sure are. Meadowbrook was 4-4 coming into tonight. We don't know the results of their game tonight, so definitely look forward to a more competitive game if you're a West Muskingum fan than it has been in the past month. But you know, you take care of business next week. The Tornadoes control their own destiny. You never know what seed you're going to end up with, but you know you win next week, you're in the playoffs.
It's definitely something to look forward to. And how about the backups getting some action? You know, you see the freshman Amari Harris running the ball. It's just good to see someone downhill. We talk about the running backs position so far at West End these past couple of years. It's just good to see the young players stepping up and making big plays.
Yeah, it sure is. We've seen Amari Harris make some plays on special teams this year, but got a chance to take some carries tonight and made the most of it. But you know, you can't talk about running backs without talking about Carter Winland. You know, big congratulations to number 10, going over 1,000 yards on the season with still one game remaining, 15 rushing touchdowns. Just an outstanding player.
And Carter Winland is the only duplicate of the year that we've had for the City Tire Pros Player of the Game, and we figured who else better to give it to? You know, he's got 1,000 yards tonight, 3 touchdown runs. He was impressive top to bottom.
With the exception of the long pass from Anton to Smith. Tonight, the offensive went through number 10, and he made the most of it. We mentioned 3 more rushing touchdowns, give him 15 on the season. So he's really filling that gap left by Cisse.
The Tornadoes hitting their stride after the loss they had to New Lexington. As we mentioned, next week they'll be taking on a Meadowbrook team that likes to throw it around. As for Coshocton, they fall to 1-8 on the year. They're going to try to rebound and win their final game of the season. But that'll do it here from West Muskingum tonight. The Tornadoes winning on senior night, 44-0, the final score. And join us next week. We'll be in Crooksville for their game against Maysville as we wrap up our season before the playoffs here on South 60 Films. But that'll do it here from West Muskingum, a 44-0 Tornado win. We will see you next week in Crooksville.